Hello viewers, welcome to another session in our English learning cave. Today we are looking at questioning words. I have picked a few, not actually a few, but a sizable number of those questioning words. I've also looked at the requirements of each of those questioning words, which is a key area in understanding a question. I will go one after the other explaining those requirements or giving those requirements, and I will also be giving examples under each that will actually help my viewers to see how best to tackle each one of those questioning words. Good. Let's look at how. How is one of those questioning words which has got more than one requirement. What do I mean by requirement? When you use how, it can be asking about, say, a number. It needs number, you to give number, and I'm sure it's one of the simplest forms of asking a question with how, but maybe it might be a bit complex if the numbers are big, like how many are you in this class, or how many are you in your family. You just count, okay, my brother, my sister, like these small nuclear families of nowadays, only about 2 children and the parents, you're looking at 5, right? How many children are in your family, right? The other part or the other requirement of how is how often. When we ask how often, we are asking about frequency. How many times does something happen, right? So such words like never, how often do you do it? Never. Sometimes, always, and other such words which point to frequency. Because if you say never, it means you've not done it or you don't do it. Sometimes it means, yeah, you do it maybe once in a week, twice or thrice in a month. That's sometimes. Always, it's quite regular, right? Regularly, it's another one. Then always, it's every time, right? How much? When we ask questions with how much, we want to know, again, number. How much? Number. How much water do we still have? You can't say 3 waters, but you give quantities. Maybe a bucket full. If you know the number of liters, you can specify the number of liters, right? Things that we can't count 1, 2, 3, but things that we can quantify in certain quantities, either liters, kilograms, and other known quantities. Then the fourth requirement of the word how, it's a process. When you ask or when you answer questions under this subsection process, you have got to give stages. For example, we are saying, how do you make cupcakes? That's the example I gave. How do you make cupcakes? You have got to give a process, stages. First thing, second thing, third thing, fourth, depends on how many stages there are until you have the cupcakes. How did you solve it, or how did you solve this? Again, you give the stages. How did you go about it? The first stage, the second stage, third, fourth, and so forth, until you get to the result, right? That should be a summary of how. I want you to look at some questions maybe in your reading or whatever kind of work you do, as you see the how questions, try to see where it fits, and that will help you in answering that question very well. Let's go to the second one. I'm in the middle section there. Why? With why questions, we want the reason or we want an explanation. Why did you do it? You've got to give a reason as to why you did it. And I'm sure that reason has to be accompanied by an explanation. At times, it's not so easy to separate the reason from the explanation. So you might give a reason and an explanation, or you just give the reason. The other question that I gave under why is, why are you here? You've got to give a reason. Why you're there? Maybe you're not expected to be there at that particular time. So you've got to give a reason. Right. The next questioning word is when. When we ask questions with this questioning word, we want time. When is your birthday? You may decide to give both the date and the month, right? Or you may just decide to give the month. When is your birthday? In May. But someone would say on 14th May, right? That's more detail, but still we are talking of time. When are you leaving? Being this second example under when are you leaving? You might say in the evening, tomorrow. You give some time again, which, your answer should indicate time. When exactly are you leaving? So you should include time. What? Questions with what? I find them to require an exact answer, or as I put it, a factual answer, right? What is this? If you don't know it, maybe that's when you would say, it's, what is it? No. If you know it, you just say, that's a tablet. That's a piece of cloth. That's a duster. You give it exactly, its real name. You don't need to beat about the bush. What time is it? Again, you just look at the clock first. If you've got a wristwatch, you check. If you've got a phone, right? You just give it exactly from what you're seeing, right? What is your name? Does someone need to think about their name? Unless maybe you're talking to these small children who have not yet mastered their names. But anyone would quickly spit out their name when they ask that question. The next one is where. The next questioning word, I'm sure that's the fifth one. Place or position. Where are you now? Unless you don't know where you are, that's when you will start guessing and trying to think where you are. But if you know your bearings very well, you quickly state, I am at such a place, right? Where is my food? It's either you say, I don't know, or it's in the microwave, or we didn't leave you any food, right? Such straightforward answers. Again, if you know, you specify the place. Next, who? Here I said you might be referring to a person or an individual. Who are you? Identify yourself. I am so and so. Who left this mess? If you know, you quickly state, it's Susan, it's John, it's so and so. Who was there? So I'm pretty sure he's the one who left that mess. Who is your father? If you know him, you identify him. He's so and so. Then the last one, But again, it's not the least in our group of questioning words is which. In most cases, when you have questions using which, it's an issue of making a choice, or you're supposed to you have options to choose from. Which color is suitable? I'm sure you know the colors. You might try out green. I'm sure green will do. Purple, pink, right? You scout around for the best color, right? So you've got options because we don't have just one color. We have several colors, right? Then the last question is, which route is cheaper? Maybe there are two routes, and you're talking about the one that is cheaper, the one that will, cut on your costs, right? Having looked at that one, I'm sure we have done some justice to questioning words. What's left is now for you to check the questions. If ever you have got any queries or any problems, you revert back to this video that we have just gone through and see how best you can tackle that question. I wish you well. Thank you so much. Do the necessary. View this video. Pass it on to your friends so that we all get to have this valuable information. Thank you. Till next time. Bye.